What is up guys, Ben here, welcome back to another video on my channel, FilmFanatic. I apologise if I look a little bit scruffy and the room's a little bit of a mess, but I am literally just out the cinema after seeing Logan. This video is going to be full of Logan spoilers, so if you haven't seen Logan yet, here is your spoiler warning before you go any further. Directed by James Mangold and starring Hugh Jackman, the movie follows the titular character, Logan, as he takes Professor Xavier and a little girl called Laura, who is a mutant, across country to what is referred to as a mutant safe haven called Eden. On the way, they are tracked and trying to be stopped by a government agency who are trying to get Laura back into their mutant camp. Turns out they have been making young mutants from the DNA of former mutants such as Logan himself. And through that, we then find that Logan is technically Laura's father. We find out that there is actually an X-24, which is an exact multiple of young Wolverine, young Logan's. Hugh Jackman plays Logan and this X-24. They go to battle at this farmer's house, and sadly, again, this is where the spoilers come in, they kill Professor Xavier. This X-24 stabs him through the heart in his bed. And then when Wolverine finds him, he attacks him, and they have this big fight. And then after becoming increasingly weak and Laura takes him to a doctor, he eventually agrees to go to this Eden place, and they find that it actually does exist. And there's plenty of young mutants there who are hiding out from the government, trying to bide time in order to get across the border to be safe. But then when this agency finds also about this Eden place, they also go there and attack them and track them down. And then when Hugh Jackman takes a medicine that gives him back his healing ability and gets him a little bit of health back, he charges in and tries to protect these kids who are on the run through the woods. And it leads to a fantastic action scene where Hugh Jackman and Laura and the other kids mutants are trying to take out all these soldiers. It's a great action sequence. It lasts for about 7-8 minutes. And it's just Hugh Jackman running through the trees, jumping off shit. He's like slicing people. He's a lot of blood, which I'll come to the kind of R rating bit later on. We see him and Laura teaming up, all the other mutants have their time. It's such a good little sequence to show Hugh Jackman kind of saving all these kids like he used to do in these old X-Men movies, like his character used to do kind of back in the day, but now he's older, he's get past that, but he kind of brings that back a little bit. And then eventually, this is the saddest moment of the film, Hugh Jackman dies. Logan is killed, Logan dies. He is impaled on the tree by this X-24 that they bring back. Laura shoots the X-24 with an adamantium bullet in the head. However, it's too late to save Hugh Jackman. He dies. The movie ends in a great way. It was a way that I was in shock at how good they decided this ending to be. I was scared they would just, he dies, Laura leaves, end. But no. Laura has a little funeral for him, kind of buries him stones, has a kind of stick cross over the head where the tombstone would be. She has a little bit of a speech, and then all the kids, all the other mutants leave to go to this border, and Laura kind of stays for a second. And I'm thinking, is she going to stay? Surely she's going to go with her friends, and she does eventually. However, what she does is she takes this cross, puts it on its side and makes an X. And that X sits at the tombstone of Wolverine. It's such a great ending to such a fantastic movie, a fantastic ending to Logan as a character, a great ending to Hugh Jackman's run as Logan. I think they couldn't have done a better ending if they'd ended it on X-Men Origins Wolverine. I'm glad they didn't end it on The Wolverine. Logan's a perfect send-off, I think, for Hugh Jackman and for the Wolverine character. I'm interested to see where they go now, where they will recast him straight away, which I really hope they don't, or what else to do. Will they continue the Laura story? I really hope they do. I hope they continue Laura as a character. I would love to see that. We'll start off first with the characters. Logan, played by Hugh Jackman, is once again a brilliant performance. He's been the star of X-Men movies of the past. He's been the star of a not so good X-Men movie, X-Men Origins Wolverine, and a kind of better X-Men movie called The Wolverine. But now he stars and he is fantastic in Logan. Now, as I see his last down as Logan, the movie is tinged with a little bit of sadness because we all know the end of this movie, no matter what happens, we're never going to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine again. Which is really sad. He's been Wolverine for years now, so for him to finally say goodbye is not so happy. But I believe this movie to be the perfect send-off for Hugh Jackman and the Wolverine character. Who knows, they might bring the character back and recast them, and I kind of hope they do, but not right now. I think we should kind of let it lie, let Hugh Jackman's legacy lie as Wolverine for now, and then a few years on, bring the character back. But please don't rush into anything brash. We also have Patrick Stewart reprising his role of Professor Xavier, but it's a totally different kind of character. He's no longer this confident and powerful mutant. He's still powerful, however, he's bedbound, he's in a wheelchair, he doesn't really have control over his powers, he's having to be constantly given pills in order to try and control this. It's the best performance Patrick Stewart's given as a character, to be able to play this incredibly weak and fragile man, but who also holds this immense power in his head that he just can't quite get control of. It's hard to play, and he's played it brilliantly. We also have English comedian Stephen Merchant as Caliban. His character adds a little bit of lightheartedness to the beginning of the movie when everything's still quite dark and seedy and quite gritty. He adds a little bit of that humour aspect to it. Something the film I think needed at the beginning, but I'm quite glad that it didn't continue it the whole way through. We can see that he's going to have a few jokes here and there. Nothing too big, but just kind of sly things that will make you kind of forget how dark this movie is. And like I said at the beginning, it's needed. It starts off so gritty, so dirty. To have that little lightheartedness helps. However, eventually, when we start to see a little bit less of Caliban, if you get what I'm saying, it's good because it kind of brings it back to that gritty aspect that we're going for in the film, rather than keeping it light-hearted, kind of comic sidekick throughout. We only needed it for a part. And Daphne Keaton, who plays Laura, is brilliant. She has very few lines, barely anything really, and when she does, half of it's in Mexican. The performance from such a young actress with no lines, so she can't portray her feelings in lines, she has to portray it in her body movement and her facial expressions and her actions. It's very well done. Daphne Keaton was good in this movie, not saying she was brilliant, but she was a good casting, I feel. I think if you put maybe a better known girl in there, it wouldn't have worked so well. She needed to be an unknown actress. Having her as somebody that nobody really knew helped, because it meant you could relate to her a little bit more rather than thinking, oh, this is this person playing this. To have this unknown face kind of helped carry the movie a little bit. The rage you could see in her, the fact that she had these claws as well, was brilliant. Daphne Keaton surprised me with how impressive she was. It's directed very interestingly. It's totally different tone to the previous X-Men movies, to other Marvel movies. It's darker, it's grittier, it's a little bit more hard-hitting. It's what the character should be, I think. Looking at kind of images and reading a little bit of Old Man Logan, he is a lot grittier, he is a lot darker, he's not as wisecracking, as witty as he was in the X-Men movies. He's this older, more mature man, and we see that in the film, and that's perfect. I love that. The movie itself is brilliantly done, it's brilliantly written, it's good directing. The cinematography is really nice, and some really nice shots in there. As an action movie, it's good. Now, you could see I'm being a little bit biased because I am a Marvel fan, because I am a Hugh Jackman fan, I am a Wolverine fan, whatever you want to say. You can enjoy this just as a good action movie. You don't need to be a fan of Marvel or X-Men or anything like that. You can just go and see this as a moviegoer and have a good time. Don't get me wrong, the movie wasn't perfect. There was a few little things I would change. Not anything too drastic. I'm not saying totally change the whole thing, but there was a little bit that there was times it felt a little bit slow. I know they were trying to vary the action. There wasn't trying to be a whole action movie from start to finish. It wasn't trying to be a boring thing with one action sequence. They spread the action well, however, there was just moments that I thought they dragged a little bit. I think there was boring moments within it. I think start the story a little bit now. I'm kind of tired of you guys just sitting in silence. There was moments of that, not a lot. But other than that, I really enjoyed the movie. I did. I really loved it. So I would give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Have you guys seen Logan? Well, let me know what you thought of it in the comment section down below. Go ahead and leave it your rating out of 10. If you like this review, go ahead and leave it a like rating, guys. I really do appreciate it. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss some FilmFanatic content. See you next time, guys. Take care. Badoosh.